Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimple the Limp, and I am here with a preview for you of a game that is coming up very soon from Matrix Games, and that is Flashpoint Campaign's Southern Storm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a bunch of pictures on the background showing you guys the game, put myself up in the corner so ugliness is out of the way so you can see what you're really after. So I'd actually touched on this game a little bit before when I was talking about that Twitch event that they did, I think it was a couple weeks back. And this was one of the games they were talking about, and it was one that I was very excited for, just looking at the pictures and kind of reading up on it a little bit. And I didn't know as much about it then as I do now, so I'm definitely looking forward to this one now. So what this game is it is a grand tactical war game set at the height of the Cold War, with the action centered at the year 1989. So as you guys know, I like the Third World War stuff. Plenty of us do. It's been very popular here recently. Games like 1985, Under Nine Sky, Sacred Oil, NATO, Third World War, all those types, right? There's plenty. Even the Long War, which we're getting ready to cover, which has paranormal stuff added into it. Definitely check that one out. But this one's taking place, same rough time frame, and you're going to be the commander laying out your battle plan. And one of the things that I kind of like about this that you don't get when it comes to tabletop games is a lot of it can be automated, right? So you're not having to worry about all the counters and upkeep and stuff like that. But the game can also be played in a different type of fashion than you would generally have at a tabletop experience. Now, I'll explain what I mean by that here in a sec. So the game is based on what they call an asynchronous we go turns. That means that you'll issue orders and then you'll watch a variable amount of time unfold on the battlefield, and then you're going to issue or adjust orders to react to what has happened. So think of it this way. It's like you give this many commands and then your forces carry out those commands within that period of time. Opponents are doing their thing, right? The AI, whoever. And once it hits that next pause phase, then you start issuing more orders. Now, this one it's deep, it's complex, it's not for the faint of heart, should we say. And it is a simulation of combat operations where your forces are arranged in maneuver units of companies, platoons, and sections of tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, infantry squads, teams, recon forces, engineers, air defense, anti-tank systems, helicopters, and everything else under the sun. So pretty much anything you could anticipate being there for Third World War is going to be there. You will have access to some off-map assets, stuff like artillery, rockets, airstrikes. So just like we've seen in other games, you're going to have the ability to call in some pew-pew, some boom-boom on the enemy, which is always very nice. And they even have the MBC stuff, so nuclear, biological, chemical. Those types of weapons can be used potentially in this game as well. All right, so here's what the game's going to feature. It will have you're going to be able to engage the enemy rather on 20 kilometer by 15 kilometer or larger rendered real-world map locations, and each hex is representative of 500 meters. And the battle is going to represent anywhere between like 4 and 24 hours of real time. It will have weather effects and other things like the electronic warfare, air superiority, line of sight fire, terrain, elevation, smoke, mines, and human factors like training, morale, and readiness are also going to be accounted for when it comes to this game. Now, of course, all that is going to require a huge amount of information because there's a lot you got to keep track of. So there's plenty of infographics in the game to tell you what's going on with your troops so you can kind of control your battlefield. This is really neat because, again, this is something you can get in a digital game that you can't get in a tabletop game. This one has 40 plus maps. 40 plus maps. Could you imagine? 40 plus maps. So this is going to have a huge selection of areas to fight over. No shortage by any means. I could imagine a tabletop game releasing now with 40 maps. I mean, the most you get now, I think, is what, like 7, 8, something like that. This one's going to have 40 different maps to choose from. The different forces that you're going to have are going to be United States, France, Canada, West Germany, Soviet Union, East Germany, and Czechoslovakia. So all those will be in the game in some way, shape, or form. And there's going to be multiple scenarios and campaigns, both with you controlling like a single faction and some that have you with like allied nations by your side. So you might have, the United States with France or whoever, Canada, helping them out in this scenario. Same with their opposing forces. And of course, it's using all the time period specific weapons and equipment that you would expect to have in a Third World War type game. Guns, missiles, precision munitions, wire guided stuff, small arms, all that is going to be modeled in the game. Now, I'm going to throw some pictures up of something different now to show you guys something else the game comes with, because like I was saying, it comes with a bunch of scenarios and it's going to have campaigns, all that like built into it. But it also has a scenario editor in which you can create your own scenarios or campaigns. And this sounds really awesome to me because that means that it can be modded, right? It can be changed, expanded, scope is pretty much limitless. And hopefully, I would see no reason why you would be able to download scenarios, campaigns that other people create. Because when it comes to stuff like this, I'm not that good at creating scenarios, but I love trying out others that others have come up with, because other people are better at this than I am. But this game does have that scenario editor built into it right from the get-go. So if you like creating your own scenarios, boom, you're set right here off the bat. You will have the ability to edit either an existing scenario or just build one from scratch if you want to go that way. So it's up to you, change or create from scratch, make new. And from what I'm reading here, it looks like it's pretty much up to you. You get access to everything, so you could choose when it starts, and that's going to affect what type of materials are available. Obviously, if you choose an earlier start date, then not as much of the advanced technology is going to be available. It's going to be very time specific for when you start your scenario. And you can even write your own text, like your own narrative for the scenario down as well. So it looks like you can go pretty much as deep as you want to go with this thing. You'll be able to select from it looks like a bunch of maps. It's saying here at least 30 or so of it are going to be available. And you'll also be able to adjust the weather at that time when you're looking at the map. And from what I'm reading here, it looks like, pretty much everything is just going to be available to you. Everything from mines, fortifications, chemical, radioactive contamination, air superiority, electronic warfare, maximum resupply done during the game, limited stock, abundance of supplies. So it's really up to you on what you want to have available for your game. And then obviously the bread and butter is going to be the force selection. So you'll be able to pick, what you want for NATO Warsaw, each of the different sides. And again, the only limiting factor on that's going to be what time period you're starting your scenario in as to what is available. Yeah, and like I was saying, you can see here from the pictures that I'm throwing on screen for you guys that you'll have access to, all the NATO forces. Then you'll put on all the Warsaw forces, where their starting location is, what they're going to have. Oh, wow, look at this. It's even talking about how you can plot a battle plan for the recon force, set pathing and SOPs for these segments. So, yeah, you can get really specific with this one. Ooh, and I like this as well. It's saying each scenario shipping with the game has 3 pre-made battle plans for each side. So if you're not as comfortable with it and you're not sure exactly how to set up a good battle plan, it's coming with pre-made battle plans, so you can at least just throw it on there, try that out a little bit, get some experience, and then when you know it better, you can go in and craft your own battle plans for each side specifically. But until then, you can, for me, if I was designing a scenario, I like this. I can automate a few bits of the process so I don't have to kill myself trying to figure out how to set it all up. Yeah, I think this is going to just be huge for this game. It's already shipping with a huge amount of stuff with scenarios, campaigns to play. And then the fact that they are really supporting the mod community post-launch by having access to all of these designing tools. So the game really becomes limitless at that point. Oh, I love that. I cannot wait to see what the community ends up coming up with for this game. And I am really, really looking forward to trying it out. I'm hoping maybe I might get a little preview code out of this. We'll see. But if I do, I will definitely be jumping onto the game and playing some for you guys and let you see how all of this works. Definitely looks like a good one. The game itself is going to be releasing on November 17th. So if you are interested, stay tuned for that. It will be coming out then, and that's when everyone will be able to get their hands on it. But yeah, 100%. If you like the Third World War stuff, this is one you really want to keep your eyes on. All right, but that's going to be it for me for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for some of Flashpoint. I will definitely be trying this one out for you guys soon. All right, y'all take care. Catch you in the next one.